Well, Stu, we sat down for pre-season. There's a good first game that we got in at Hendon, and there's a 4-0 victory. How do you think it went?
Yeah, look, it's the same as last season. In pre-season, we see as breeding good habits, getting that winning habit, so we can take the momentum into the league. We say that, but we've got a lot of trialists in at the minute, and a lot of them have impressed. So it's really good. The standard of the training, the standard of the game, which you'd have seen the other night, was really high. Like it's not easy to go to Hendon's in your first pre-season game and be as fluent as what we are. So it's credit to the lads that have taken on the information. They've come in, they've really taken on board our patterns of play and stuff like that. So it's a credit to the trialists that have come in. And we're starting to build it up now, the fitness, and it was good for Taryn to get 2 goals. Really good for an attacking midfielder. We've brought him in as an attacking midfielder. We said to him that we want to add goals to his game, and in his first game he's arrived in the box perfectly, and it's something we have been working on with him in training.
And as you said, I think last pre-season we sat down and I think we set the target of going unbeaten for pre-season. Has that very much been the same objective for this summer too?
Yeah, 100%. Look, there's going to be games within pre-season if you don't have 2 strong 11s when you mix up, when we're doing 45 and 45, that potentially you can lose. But we've set the standards high as we always do. Like, we want clean sheets. It's something that we worked on really hard last season. We got 14 clean sheets. We want to build on that. We want to try and get more. We've set with the defenders, and we will sit down once the groups all follow together, and we set the targets in-house again, a points total and clean sheets and stuff like that. We will set them standards, and if I'm being honest, the lads are starting to set it themselves now. The standard in the camp and the mentality within this group now is excellent.
And how have you found? I know last year again, you said pretty much the same thing as you did this summer, that you have to be patient with the market. Good deals will come to you in the end if you're patient. How have you found the market this summer compared to last summer? Has it been more volatile? Has it been any difficulties maybe that you probably didn't have last summer?
I think this is probably one of the most inflated markets that I've probably ever known since being in football. The price of what agents and players are asking for at the minute is nowhere near what we can afford anyway. And some of the clubs are paying it. If you look at the clubs that have probably done their business early, they're prepared to pay the money and get deals over the line, and probably pay maybe at our level a couple of hundred to 200-300 quid over the top to get the deals done, which is fair play. That's how they've done their business, but we're not in a position to be doing that. We've missed out on loads of players that we've been speaking to and going for, and we know that. We know every year that we've got to keep making contact with the lads. We've got to keep being onto them and keep declaring our interest, but we know that we've got to be patient, and like you said there, Chris, the right deals will come along, and when they come along we'll be ready to do them, and that's how we work. As
pre-season goes along, do you think players who are free agents or panic then, and then their price does drop by a couple of £100 a week? Is that something what you mean when you're saying like have the patience in the market? Yeah,
definitely. Well, you look at the market now, there's probably a lot of lads that have been released from pro clubs that are in on trial in League One, in League Two, or in the Championship. In the next week or two they won't get offered anything because they would have been in there, they'll be kind of to a degree trialling, and if they haven't impressed enough to get a contract, then they have nothing. And then a lot of the clubs at our level have pretty much done their business. So then it leaves us, we're one of those National League clubs that, because we can't do our business as early as we would like to do our business. Look, we'd all like to have our squad in from minute 1 in pre-season, the fans, all of us, and see who exactly is in the building and work with them from minute 1, but that's not the case with us. Our business will go all the way to in and around the first game of the season, and it'll be the same with the loans. As we said last season, the best loans will come in January, because a lot of the lads that we're looking to get in at the minute, they're in and around first teams, and they're close to getting in and around their team's first team. So as a league club, you want to keep them around for at least for the first couple of months of the season, see if they have that opportunity to break in after pre-season, if they've done that well. And we know that, so we've just got to be patient, and we will be patient. We know that when we bring the lads in, what we're getting. So look, we're really happy with the business we've done so far, and we're really happy with the group that we've got together at the minute.
And have you kept like a good relationship with these league clubs? The loan market worked fantastic for us last year, and we particularly had at the end of the season 4 fantastic players here on loan that really pushed us over the line and propelled us up the league table. As you say, it may be the start of the year or in January that we attract players like that, but is there a good relationship kept with these clubs from yourself and the management team?
Yeah, definitely. We're speaking to them all the time. Every week that goes by, we always touch base, see where their players are at, see if they've had any league interest. Because look, it's like that. Lads that have come and done well for us, their next step for their clubs is to try and get them into the Football League, which is totally understandable. They want their players to step up another level. For us as a management team, we look at our level is as good as League Two now. If you look at like Sutton getting promoted, they got in around the players and what job he's done to get in there.
But Wembley as well.
And got to Wembley, and that's how tight our league is now, and how League Two is because there's a hell of a lot of clubs now in our league desperate to get out of it, and they're prepared to spend and sign league players. If you look at a lot of the clubs that are signing at the top end of this division, they're signing league players. They're not signing National League players or Conference South players. They're signing league players. So the league's getting stronger and stronger year by year, and this season's even stronger than what it was last season, so it's going to be a real challenge.
We've got 4 new players in, but we'll get to them in a bit. What about the players who we've tried to keep and leave? So like Nick, for example, and the skipper. Were they in your plans for next year? Was they a big part? Has that hit you massively, or is it something that you've prepared for?
Look, I think you always know that someone like Nick especially, we'd spoke to him, we'd tried to offer him a new deal pretty much 2 to 3 months into the season. We know he's a top player. It's very hard when a Dagenham who just missed out on the playoffs and have the spending power that they have and the ambition to try and get out this league. It's hard for Nick as a young man to turn that down, and we respect that and we wish him all the best. Nick was an unbelievable pro, he was dedicated, and when he played for us he gave everything for the club. So look, I'd like to thank him from that. And with the skip, it's exactly the same. Like while we was here as a management team, like, he'd give everything on and off the pitch. We're gutted to lose him because around the place, it's not just what he does on the pitch, it's what he does off the pitch. But when Barnet come and make you an offer like they've offered him, it's hard to turn down.
And then the players coming in, so we've got in Sam Howes, who we had for a brief spell last year. Was that almost like a trial period for him?
No, we've known about Sam for years and years and years. So I've always monitored him to see how his career's gone, because he was at West Ham as a kid with a very bright future ahead of him, and I still think he has got a bright future ahead of him. And then he went to Watford, and then he come out on loan into Hampton, and then with Dowse at Woking, and then he got signed permanently by Dowse, and then he ended up at Dorking, and then he ended up at Horsham and set his business up. Obviously we had him in on loan because George got concussion, and obviously we realised, we were made aware by Sam that he had a clause in his contract that if a National League club wanted to sign him, that he could come and sign for free, and that's what happened. He made us aware, and we couldn't wait to get the deal done. And he's here for footballing reasons, and he loves the way we work, and if I'm being honest, he's impressed us so much.
And then you got Taron as well. He scored 2 goals, choosing last. That's a perfect start for him, as you just mentioned. There's more of an attacking role for him here. Do you feel like he'll kick on from a good start in pre-season if he continues that performance?
Oh, definitely. He's a lad that kind of goes under the radar. Last season, Woking had a big squad, and it was hard to get in that squad with the likes of Max Kretschmar with a season like that he had, scoring the amount of goals from midfield and just off the front. It's hard to get in ahead of someone like him that's that consistent week in, week out. But Taron's someone that we liked before Woking signed him last season. We liked him, but the minute Woking come in and with their finances, we couldn't get anywhere near it. This summer he's come here, he loves the way we play, and I think it's a really good fit. He wants to kick on and move back up the ladder, and we can give him that platform to come and show what he can actually showcase and show his actual real ability. Because he's an ability player, he can go by you, and as you see the other night, he's got goals in him. We've just got to get it out of him. And
he clearly likes here as well, because he had a great spell here the first time, and almost, as you say, signed for us last summer, and now he's come back. He must enjoy his football here.
Yeah, he's loved it. He loves the fans, the club, look, the board. The one thing is that everyone's in it together at the club now, like from the boardroom down. So it makes a massive difference. You feel so welcome that the chairman comes down, he watches training and stuff. That personalness the lads really love, and it shows that, if I'm being honest, that we all care and we all want the same result, and we're all working so hard off the field. There's always stuff going on off the field to try and improve the club, whether it's at the ground or whether it's on the football side, and the board have done a great job.
And then going on to Matt and Dom as well, they didn't play Tuesday night, but they're 2 young players who will both have a point to prove and want to kick on and go back into the professional game. Well, obviously Matt's here on loan from Leyton Orient, so already has that, but what can fans expect from them? Are they going to be these sort of young, explosive, all over the sort of place players?
Matt's, I've done a little interview and it come out, Matt's got loads of energy, he's box to box, but he's a very technical player. He's got a lovely left foot, he's got a lovely pass selection. He made 12 appearances for Leyton Orient. I think it was 14 in total with sub appearances as well, which is a good amount of games for a young lad to play in League Two. So he comes with us, even though he's a young lad with really good experience, and it's something that we wanted to add into the group. He brings us a bit of balance, being a lefty, which we didn't have last season, and we've got a really competitive midfield now, really competitive. Dom, we've watched loads last season. He went on loan from Watford to Eastbourne. He had a great season. He scored a lot of goals and got a lot of assists. He's someone that we've tracked and monitored, and we wanted to get in. He come in for a week to have a look at our environment, us to look at him, and vice versa. We got the deal done. And I think he'll do really well for us. He's got a bright future ahead of him. He's athletic. He's got pace, and if I'm being honest, he's hungry. He's hungry. He wants to do well.
Do you think he went under the radar a bit at Eastbourne with Charlie Kendall doing so well there?
Yeah, I think when sometimes you see that a lad's on loan from Watford, if you don't monitor him and really monitor him, looking to see that he's out of contract and he might not get offered a new deal, we've got good contacts with Watford, so we knew that he wouldn't be offered a new deal. When you're coming from Watford, I think a lot of these clubs think we won't get him. Because he's coming from a Premier League stroke Championship club now, so you think you won't get him, but if you do your homework into the lads and you know that they're not going to get anything, you can get ahead of the queue. And that's the key to us. That's what we do. We monitor the 23s players to know when they're being released or whether they're available for loan. We get to all the games, so we know that when someone comes available, we know that we can go for them.
And then obviously the club have made public. Obviously we've had bids for Josh, who did fantastic last year and scored 17 goals. The club are wanting a better bid from his suitors. But how do you manage a player in that situation where if we don't sell him, it's a win because we've got a striker who has 17 goals last season, and if we do sell him, we get a reasonable fee that we wanted as well. It's a bit of a win-win for the club. But how do you manage the player in that?
Yeah, look, I think Josh has shown he's got a great attitude. He's loved his time here. Like all the lads that we try and recruit, like we've just talked about there, they want to come here, do the business and try and get a move into the Football League. Josh is no different. He's had an outstanding season to get 17 league goals and not one of them be a penalty. It's incredible. So there's been a lot of interest. It's not just one club. There's been quite a lot of league interest in him, and if I'm being honest, in the next couple of weeks I'm probably expect a couple more bids from other league clubs that obviously are aware now that we're at the final stages of whether someone's either going to pay the asking price which the club value him at, or they don't and we keep him. If we keep him as a management team, we'd be delighted, and I know he'll be hungry and I know he'll give everything for the club.
So you don't know, shouldn't it affect how you think he trains and plays or anything like that?
No, he hasn't showed anything like that. He's a good lad, he's hungry, he's a team player, so I don't expect him to change his attitude or mentality. I expect him to be exactly how he was last season, coming in hungry with the opportunity. The biggest thing he's got now is if he don't go, he's got a head start. He's got 17 league goals. If he can get 10 before Christmas, then potentially his value goes up even more for himself. So yeah, look, we're excited. We're excited with the group that we're starting to put together.
And then obviously, what do you make of the pre-season schedule? Because we go to Slough next, and then there's a quick turnaround as well where we go to Beaconsfield, and then we attract Charlton's 23s and QPR, and then two tough teams with Billericay and Chelmsford and Bedford too. So what do you make of the schedule? Are you happy with the one that we put together here?
Yeah, look, we always look at our pre-seasons and we try and get a real mixture of different teams. That, like, I look at QPR as a first team coming over, that they should have a lot of possession, so it gets us used to where we defend from in our low block and mid block and where we press from, and look how good we're going to have to be in possession, because we will pass the ball. It's our philosophy, so we will stick to it, and how they press us and get after us. So it'll be good, and there's big tests all along the way, and they're different tests. Like Hendon was a test the other night, your first game. They're ambitious. They want to try and kick on next season. So Billericay are the same. They've just been relegated, but they're a big club. They're probably one of the favourites to go up. I know the manager over there, Dan Brown, who's doing a great job. He's done a great job recruiting this summer, and I think they'll be right in the mix with him in charge. So they're going to come over. They're going to be organised. They're going to be fit. Chelmsford are the same. They're in the Conference South. I think, like, you look at them, they're a huge club in the division. So look, there's good tests, real good tests. Charlton's under 23s. We watch them quite a lot. Obviously, we've got two lads on loan from them. They've got a handful of players that we like again, and they've probably got 6 or 7, if I'm being totally honest, that we'd take tomorrow. So look, it's going to be a real good test, and that's what we need in pre-season. We need tests. We want to try and get that winning habit, but we understand the difficult tests that we're coming up against, and that's why we picked the games that we've picked. That
QPR one's massive as well, isn't it? Attracting a first team of a club like that to our ground is going to be a massive crowd that day as well, and almost that carnival atmosphere, I guess. But as you say, that playing a team of that calibre offers you a different opportunity to look at sides, where you might not get against, Hendon and Chelmsford and Billericay, etc.
Oh, definitely. Look, a huge credit goes to Rory. Look, he negotiated a deal last year with QPR, and to be able to get their first team down with so many local fans that are QPR fans, I expect it to be a sellout. So I'd advise you to get your tickets, especially the home fans, because there's a hell of a lot of away fans that are selling out, and I do expect it to be a sellout. The minute it gets nearer, more and more people will come. The more players at QPR sign, the fans want to see their players, and it's the same for us. You want to come and see us in a really tough game, and it's a real good gauge for us to, to put yourself up against a championship side that really are competing to go get promoted next season to the Premier League. So it's brilliant. So Rory's done unbelievable for the club to get that in with the revenue that bring in, and then also arranging the Watford game with Southampton at our stadium. The revenue that's going to bring in will help massively to everything that's going on around the club on and off the pitch.